Welcome to Ditch the Classroom. This is your host, Ariana Vernier, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm a teacher turned business coach who is so passionate about helping fellow mamas like you ditch the classroom and pursue your big, hairy, scary dreams. Imagine a life where you could still impact the world, but do so while following your passions and spending more time with your babies. In Ditch the Classroom, we'll explore ways you can do just that. Myself, guest experts, and amazing teachers who have also built a successful business will share tools, tips, and resources to help you ditch the classroom too. Are you ready? Here we go. Hey, my loves, welcome back to the Ditch the Classroom podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to extend a special invitation to y'all. So if you're new to the virtual assistant and freelancing world and don't even really understand what that entails, I want to invite you to my free virtual assistant workshop. This is where I'm going to really go in depth and teach you what a VA does, what services they can offer, so you can pick services that really would light you up, where to find paying clients so you can replace your income faster, and so much more. Now, if you're ready to take that first step into freelancing and virtual assistants, then my Ditch the Classroom toolkit is for you. In this toolkit, you're going to figure out what services you want to offer that you would love to do each and every day, what to price those services at, and how to package everything in a pretty bow to send off to potential clients that looks really professional and will really attract them easily and effortlessly. Now, if you're really ready to go all in and go 100% into this thing so that you can ditch the classroom completely and start working from home with your baby sooner, then the Teacher Turned Freelancing Academy is for you. This program has everything you need, the ongoing support, the accountability, seriously everything you need to take your virtual assistants or freelancing business from 0 to 60. It has 10 different modules, and each module has bite-sized lessons, workbooks, and templates to help you really build this business from scratch. So if this is something you're looking for, you want that ongoing accountability and support to get your questions answered, then I want to invite you to join the Teacher Turned Freelancer Academy. You can find the links to the workshop, the Ditch the Classroom Toolkit, and TTFA in the show notes. I cannot wait to see you in there. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the 3 mistakes that I made as a new virtual assistant. I want to save y'all as much time as possible, and I know it can be really challenging and confusing getting into this world and just being a new VA. So I want to help you avoid some of these mistakes. So mistake number 1 was working with anyone that would pay me. I know when you're first starting your business, like making that money is probably the number one thing you want to do, but you really want to think about who would I love to work with? Who would light me up and make me want to get out of bed to work with them each day? If you're working with anybody and everybody, they're not going to be in alignment with you. Maybe they don't understand that you have kiddos at home and aren't okay with your kiddos being around while you're working. Maybe they don't understand that you're not going to work evenings and weekends because you spend that time with your family. You really want to make sure that they understand your boundaries and what this business is for you, and they're respectful of that. There are so many business owners who will appreciate you for all that you do in their business and respect when you work and who is around when you work. Let me tell you my biggest mistake. I brought on this client who I saw red flags from the beginning of how it was going to be working with her. But, I wanted that income, honestly. And so I brought her on and it was a nightmare. I was supposed to work for her hourly, but everything I sent her, she would want redone. Everything, she would tell me one thing and then come back and pretend like she never said that and say something else. And it was just so stressful. And that money was not worth it. I took so much time and energy and poured it into that client, and it just wasn't worth it. So have those boundaries in place. So make sure that your clients understand that while you love their business and you're going to support them the best that you can, you're not going to work for them 24/7 and they shouldn't expect that from you. So again, it's just easier from the beginning. If you figure out who you want to work with that would just light you up and make you excited to work every day, and really pay attention. If there's red flags from the beginning, just move on. Maybe direct them to a Facebook group where they can find other assistants, but you don't need that extra stress in your life. Now, mistake number 2, I already mentioned a tiny bit in mistake number 1, is that I didn't set clear boundaries. I started this business, and I know a lot of you are, to have more time with my family, to spend more time with my babies and get to do what I want to do. But my first year as a virtual assistant, I did not set those clear boundaries, and I ended up having to work on Christmas Day. Let me tell you, when that happened, I was like, what am I doing? I need to fix this because this is not going to happen. Teaching, I never had to work on Christmas. So why am I doing that now? This is not what I envisioned when I signed up for this, and I need to figure out how to make this never happen again. So setting those clear boundaries of, I only work this many hours a week. This is when I'm available. I will never work on holidays. In the beginning, you may have to work a little bit more on the weekends and evenings, but set clear times for that so you don't go overboard and you still get that time with your family. And really quickly, you'll see that you can reduce that amount of time you're working during family time more and more. So that way you're only working during the day and have the evenings to give to the people that matter. So I already did an episode really breaking down the boundaries that you need to set in your business with your clients. So go check out episode 35. It's all about boundaries with clients, and that'll give you some really good ideas on where to start with this. Now, mistake number 3 that I made was not niching down sooner. Now, there's 2 kinds of niching down. You could niche down into only working with certain types of businesses, so like female-owned businesses, for example, or you can niche down to just a specific type of service. So what I'm talking about here is that I didn't niche down to a service that I loved. I thought I wanted to be the go-to person to be able to do everything in someone's business, even if it wasn't in my zone of genius. But I quickly realized that those services that, while I might be good at them, they didn't light me up. Those services just drained so much energy from me. I didn't want to do them. And I started feeling a little bit resentful about my business when I was still offering services that did not light me up. So once I really realized that graphic design and website design was my zone of genius and where I just felt so excited to work every day, and I told those clients that I was still doing other services for that, hey, this is our last month. I'm going to help you find somebody to replace me, but I'm really niching down into this one service that I love. Once I did that, my business grew so much because people could see my passion again, and they could see that I was really good at what I did and not just kind of good at everything, you know? So I really recommend either A, niching down to a specific business you'd like to work with, and or niching down to a specific service that just lights you up and that you're really good at. Now, let's recap. Mistake number 1 was working with anyone who would pay me. Mistake number 2 was not setting clear boundaries. And mistake number 3 was not niching down sooner. So these are mistakes that I really want to help y'all avoid. And that way you can have a very successful business that really aligns with what you're looking for. It doesn't take away from your family, and it gives you that time freedom that you've always been looking for. So let me know if this was helpful. Send me a DM on Instagram. I love hearing from y'all. So please feel free to reach out. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Before you go, make sure you take a minute to subscribe to the show, leave a rating and review, and check out the show notes for a free gift to help you ditch the classroom. If you loved today's episode, can you help me share the message by taking a screenshot, tagging me on Instagram at ariana.vernier, and sharing it with your friends so we can help more mamas ditch the classroom and follow their dreams. Until next week, y'all, keep following the dreams that were placed in your heart so you too can ditch the classroom.